Good evening, early birds. Welcome. Good to have you here. I'm just going to wait for another 4 minutes and we'll start at the top of the hour. All right. I'm just testing a few things just to make sure things are working and, see what's not working as usual, etc. All right. So do bear with me. Okay, I can see viewers joining. I can't tell who you are. So do kind of leave me a little message there with your name so I know who you are and I can say hi when I come over to see you. All right. Could you also let me know if you can actually hear me, please? Of course, if you can't type in messages, there's going to be no way of you letting me know that you can't. And I will mute this out so you're not getting an echo. All right, excellent. So, yes, we will get started very shortly. Okay, you should be able to see that now, hopefully. So I'll get cracking with this in a minute, explain everything to you, and then we'll just take it from there. Okay, hopefully you can see that. Yeah, it looks like screen share is working because you were able to see that screen at one stage. I just want to make sure. Hmm. Excellent. All right. So I can see that you can now see the screen that I'm seeing. Wow, that was a bit of a mouthful. Okay, so welcome. Good to have you here. I'm Marian Herbertson, of course. If you don't know me, like I say, I'm Marian Herbertson. I'm an iPass business coach. But the thing that I enjoy most is being an online entrepreneur and also heading up the Dream Achievers team. Okay, so the Dream Achievers are a team that have worked together and been together for quite a long while, and it's very interesting when you see the dynamics and when a team becomes more than just a team. All right. And that's how we feel about each other. And, it's been a case of through thick and thin, right? So we're here to stay and, make this work. But the beautiful thing is, like I say, I want to tell you about how you can make money online. And I also want to show you the proof of very excited people doing exactly that. All right. So let's get started here. Now, what you are seeing here is, the system that we use to ease our marketing, if you like, right? And I'll explain more about it, but basically it's a front-end marketing system. So it's a system where you go and you just advertise that particular system and you end up, covering the rest of your business as well, right? And it's basically the first all-in-one online business platform, right? It's called iPass, which stands for Internet Prospect Acceleration System, right? It just means, that it makes everything very simple to people. Hopefully you can see it much bigger now. So yeah, this should work better for you. Now, the thing that I like about iPass is, like, unlike a lot of other businesses or a lot of other of these online platforms where they're thrown together by people, they have a lot of experience, but unfortunately, the experience is in the wrong area. And why I talk about that is we've been in that situation where we've been badly impacted by things that are set up which make things look very, very easy. But it's kind of a play business. It's not a real solid business that you can develop long term, right? But this one is created by professionals, and as I say, it's the first all-in-one business platform, and it's created by professionals for professionals. That's what I like about it, right? In iPass and in the other company that I'm going to be talking about, you will find people from all walks of life, young mums and dads, grandmas like myself, doctors, nurses, pastors, preachers, you name them, they're all loving being in iPass and using it to build a business. All right, so it's definitely created by professionals for professionals, basically from people from all walks of life, really. But let's talk about this, right? If you do a search in Google for the number of people looking for ways to make money online, it's a staggering amount. All right, it's a few 100,000 every day, right? It's that many people. And why is that the case? Right, it's simply because of the way the economy is, etc. People are being laid off their jobs. It doesn't matter whether it just doesn't matter. You could be somebody who fills shelves at your local Tesco supermarket, or you're just any supermarket. You could be somebody who is quite high up in the military, or in the oil companies, right? All sorts of companies across the board are laying off thousands of people, Right. And that is why more and more people are beginning to realize that there has to be another way where you are not dependent on a company, a boss, all of that kind of thing. Right. And, you know, it's moved from being that kind of thing it's now moved to being an information era where you gain the knowledge and how to market online, and you are then able to provide something of value in return. Because at the end of the day, how else would you expect to earn money? Right. The only legitimate way to make money online, and this is something I say on every single call because I want to make it so clear, there are so many misrepresentations out there, join today and you'll be a millionaire tomorrow kind of thing. Or this is you know, two bring in your two and they bring in their two and it all works. Doesn't work, truthfully. Doesn't last long term simply because, of the kind of thing it is. So let me just, okay, I'm going to assume you can see this. Hopefully you can see this, but I just hope I'm not talking to myself here. But in any case, it's being recorded. So if you miss it, we'll make sure we mail it out to you, right? So as I was saying, the only legitimate way is to make money is to provide something of value in return, something that that person wants to pay for. Right. And this is where a lot of people fall foul because, there are various ways of marketing out there. And the kind that we're involved with is called hybrid marketing. Give me just 1 second, please. I can hear little beeps. And I just want to make sure that somebody's not trying to tell me that they can't see anything. So give me 2 seconds here. Okay, so that seems to be okay. All right. Okay, so I can see we have more people joining, which is absolutely fantastic. But yeah, I still can't tell whether you can post in here or not. I'm assuming you can't, since I can't see anybody posting. And the thing that was beeping was my Facebook page, because I want to take you there later and show you something as well. All right, so let me get back to this, right? Yeah, I was explaining about, sorry, give me 1 second. Let me enlarge this for you. Okay, there we go, right? Hybrid marketing, what is that? First of all, let's go back to the previous slide, right? Now, you could actually create your own product. So if you have a service or something of that sort that you want to promote online, or you're passionate about something. I was talking to a lady earlier today, and she's into the whole health and fitness industry. She actually advises on health issues and diet and that kind of thing. She's absolutely passionate about it and she wants to get her message out there. And this is what she is doing. So she has a service that she wants to provide. But what if you don't, right? That is where iPass has actually teamed up with a company who is known for producing the most, the best quality teaching material on internet marketing that you can possibly find anywhere. And it's not taught by people who are just teaching, it's actually being taught by people who are doing. Right, so you can see their success and they're sharing their knowledge. And, it's a great way of buying those products, learning from them, and then being able to resell them. Okay, and you earn 70% commissions. So unlike, so that's called affiliate marketing, right? There is, of course, another type of marketing, which is network marketing, where you have all the, you sell a whole load of different things, lots and lots of companies like that out there, Avon, Mary Kay, etc. But the thing is, the commissions on those products are so low that you have to sell an absolute stack of them to make any kind of decent money. Right. And then, of course, there are the party plans. And, even when you make a sale, it's a case of going out to drop the products off, trying to collect the money. People are never in. So by the time you calculate the many times that you've had to drive up and down, etc., that's your profits wiped out. Okay, in many cases. So it's you know, that kind of network marketing wasn't something that I liked. I have done it before and actually been fairly successful at it, but I hated the hotel meetings, party plans, you know, having a garage full of product because, well, you know, you've got to buy it in order to sell it and all that kind of thing. And it was always the type of thing that I never used anyway. Right. So, but you know, such is life, and you learn and you experience things, isn't it? And you progress from there. Now, what we do, the products, you know, you can earn up to $3,000 of commission on the sale of some of your products, right? When you can earn that much money, you know, on one product sale, you can see why there are people who are so successful with it. Okay, and those products are well worth the money. It's like getting a Harvard style education, you know, university education in internet marketing. It is that brilliant. Okay, so the thing is, though, you know, here's the thing: hybrid marketing works, but there's sometimes fairly low duplication in that some people can do it, but others can't. Okay, and that's, you know, that's across the board. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. I'm not going to pretend otherwise. It just happens. That's the way it is. You know, it may be from lack of time or lack of energy when you do have the time, all sorts of things, you know. So sometimes it was really low duplication. And what happens is that sort of takes your figures down, your results, you know, plummet. And it results in extreme frustration. I don't know if you can see that picture, but there have been some times when, except for the blonde hair, that's me, right? You know, so it's absolutely, it's a business, right? And you know, the way it works is like any business. You've got to work at it. You've got to make it work for you. You've got to come into it with the mindset that it is going to work, and then it does work. And I'll show you the proof that it works, and it works amazingly well. Right. So what you get here is a systematized formula. Right. So you don't have to actually think of how to design things, how to put things together. You don't have to worry about building a website, you know, none of that. It's all there for you. Okay, you've just got to link everything up, and there's tremendous help even for that, both within our team and within the companies, etc. So it's not that difficult to do. Okay, and you know, I like to call the system the keys to your success. All right. And in particular, there are three things that are going to lead to your success. Now, the first thing is the user experience. At the moment, we're going through a transition. So our nerves are kind of slightly on edge. You know, it's like, oh my goodness, what's happening? But it's a transition for the better. Right. So even though we're a little bit kind of, oh my word, what do we have to do here, etc., the examples are there for us to follow. The instructions are there for us to follow. We're being guided through it all, and we're helping each other along. That's the beauty of working in a community that works together. Yeah. So the first is the user experience. Then you've got a lovely calculator, which I'll tell you more about. It's not the kind of desktop calculator. This is something totally different. And then, of course, the icing on the cake, which I will tell you about, right? So let's talk about the user experience first of all. Okay, it's simple and powerful. That's the system that I'm talking about, right? Now, you know, simple, how can I say? Something that's simple to me may not be simple for you, right? Because I'll be very honest with you, when I first started, none of it was simple. Right, internet marketing was the most confusing thing to me. I mean, my entire experience as a professional had been offline, you know, in the corporate world, where I was training, setting up systems, marketing, sales. I was in that kind of area. So for me to bring those things online was Oh my goodness, it was a real challenge. Okay, but I realized that coming up to my age, I'm 59 this year. I realized back then that if I didn't do something about it, I would be one of those statistics who, talk about not being able to retire because they just can't afford to retire. Okay, so that's the kind of situation I'm trying to avoid. That's one of my friends saying she needs to talk with me, but yeah. So I'll should, I'll talk with her later. Bless her. So yes, so that's the kind of thing here. It's not, when I say simple, it may not be simple for you initially, but if you put your mind to it and you learn it, it's like anything new. You'll eventually get the grasp of it, and then you'll be so glad you did. Because in internet marketing, if you get it right here, nothing, it's everything. Your world is without limits. Okay, you can travel the world. You can just, take your business with you wherever you want to go. You can, people call it the laptop lifestyle. So anywhere you get an internet connection, you can operate your business from there in a couple of hours a day once it's all set up and running. Your income isn't determined by anybody else except yourself, right? So it's a very, it's freedom, right? That's the main thing. Okay. So yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. And in this case, right, it is also a very, very powerful system. And basically you register, you activate it, you set it up. This is the most difficult part, the intricate part, the setting up. But you can actually also, pay not a lot, $50 to have it set up for you. Then you fuel the system. In other words, you advertise. Like any business, it depends on advertising, right? So you advertise your business, and then that's it. You let the system do the rest. Okay? Now, let's talk about the calculator, right? This is something that was designed specifically for this program. It's actually undergoing an overhaul at the moment, and it's being enhanced even more. And basically, what it allows you to do, it takes the guesswork out of everything, right? So, how much do you want to earn, right? And you can put those figures in there, and what that will give you is your advertising budget that's required, or sorry about that. Somebody needs to mute themselves out, but I'm sure they will. Okay, so the second thing is, let's say you have a limited advertising budget, right? So in order to be realistic and know what to expect, you can pop that advertising budget. Give me 1 second, please. Let me see here. Okay. Is that Peter there? Oh, Adrian, can you mute yourself out, please, my love? Hearing a lot of background sounds there. Oh, now you're muted out, Adrian. I could see you talking there, but couldn't hear you, so that's good. Okay, you muted out. Thanks, Adrian. I'll call on you in a tiny bit. Adrian, I want you to talk about the things that you have learned here, and in particular, the things your kiddies have learned. Because I've seen your daughter actually doing the most wonderful videos, bless her. So if you can just explain later on how old she is and what she's doing, and, just take it from there, all right? But let me just finish off this little presentation here first, okay. Okay, so I was screen sharing, isn't it? Okay, that's great. Okay, so yeah, you can actually do this in 2 ways. You can either say how much you want to earn, and then the calculator will tell you how much of an advertising budget you need, or you can do it the other way around, and you can say, okay, I have $500 to advertise monthly, or I have $200 to advertise monthly. What level of income can I expect out of that? And that is basically taking the guesswork out so that you can plan and work accordingly, like you should do with any business. All right. Now, okay, give me 1 second, please. All right, there we go. That's much better. All right. And thirdly, it'll also tell you what products you need in order to achieve the kind of income you want to achieve. And let me just take 2 minutes out here and explain this to you, because this is so, so, so important. All right. And I want to be completely real with you here. Like I've said to you, these products that you buy are like getting a university-style education on how to market online. So my example to you would be, you wouldn't go to university with kindergarten books. You're not going to be able to learn the material that you've got to learn. All right. And in addition to that, let's talk about the commissions. Like I said to you, you would get 70% commissions. Okay, so some of the basic products, let's call them the kindergarten products, they're like $100, $500, etc. So if you're getting 70% of $100, you're looking at $70, right? My mind went completely blank there for a second. Or if you're looking at the $500, you're looking at $350 worth of commission. Now, if you want to make $10,000 a month, how many of those are you going to have to sell in order to reach your target income? Okay, you see what I mean? Now, you know, if you want to start off slow and build up, that's perfectly all right. But the whole thing is, I want you to be realistic and I want you to be grounded. When you come into this business, look at it as a business, and then we can grow it realistically. All right. There are, you know, most people actually come in at the top level, because at the top level you earn $3,000 per sale. And here's the thing, you don't actually do any extra work. All right, because what happens is people that come in through your advertising will very often go all the way through and buy all the products from the company. And if you don't actually, if you own those products, you will earn the commissions on those. Right? If you don't own the products, the commission passes up to your sponsor. Okay, so you will just lose out on those commissions and the person in that commission. So there's a very solid reason there why you should try and get as many products as you can. Number one, to educate yourself. Right, that's the most important thing. Secondly, to be able to sell them on and therefore earn the commissions on them. Okay. Right. And remember I said to you that there was a secret ingredient, you know, the icing on the cake. Well, at the all-in package, so that's, you know, at the top level, you can actually, you actually qualify for a business coach. You can actually engage the services of a business coach, which is a pure touch of genius, right? Why is this the case? Number one, your lack of online experience. Okay, let's say this is your first time online, or you know, you've never succeeded online before, etc. How are you going to explain anything to the people that you are advertising to? So you stand the thing of losing a lot of money because you're unable to explain things to somebody else, and they think she doesn't know what she's doing or he doesn't know what she's doing. Why am I going to buy from them? Yeah, so they will go off and look for a sponsor who is more knowledgeable. The other thing is your lack of social proof. What do I mean by lack of social proof? Right. If you haven't made any money online, people are very, very likely to ask you, you know, so how much have you made? Has this business been good to you? And if you can't truthfully, hand on heart, answer that question, once again, they're going to go off and find somebody else, right? And the coaches are all tremendously successful in their own rights, so they're able to answer these questions for you, explain the business to people, bring them in, get them started off in business so that they have, you know, a nice secure foundation so that you can then focus on the business of growing your business. Okay, so it's good for you if you're a brand new marketer, and it's brilliantly good for you if you're an experienced marketer, because what often happens is that an experienced marketer becomes a victim of his or her own success. Right. So the more people they bring in, the more bogged down they get with talking to them, training them, etc. Here, you can plug them into the system, and that's it. Right. The whole thing works wonderfully, which is why we're seeing some very, very big marketers joining the system, simply because they can use this to leverage their time and their advertising. Okay, it makes perfect business sense. Now, look at all these people here. Some of them are in our team here. And a lot of them are, but this is just a tiny fraction. There are thousands and thousands of what we call black card members, right? This is the elite membership club where you have all the products, therefore you're able to attend certain events, parties that are put on specially for you. Basically, you're treated like a VIP, right? And you have all the education there, you have all the training at your fingertips, and as I say, you can engage a coach to work on your behalf. Okay, so okay, right. Let me come back to the screen here and stop sharing. Okay, so what I want to say to you is this, right? You have a button below this video. It says take the 7-day trial, and that's all it is, right? It's $7 for 7 days. So if you're here in the UK, we're talking about what, $4 maybe, £4 maybe, right? To take a 7-day trial. When you get into the system, you will actually see for yourself a ton of very, very successful people who are really excited about what this business is doing for them. Right. I mean, Adrian will tell you, I had a bit of a health scare about 3 months ago, landed up in hospital, etc. And the one thing I didn't have to worry about was income. Right. Because even though I was in hospital without even a Wi-Fi connection, I think that drove me more crazy than anything else, to be honest. But, even though I didn't have any of that, my income kept growing. And when I got out of hospital, there was money waiting for me, in my bank account, transferred in, absolutely brilliant. So it is very, very well worthwhile. But I'm going to ask Adrian now. Adrian is one of the leaders in the Dream Achievers team. Adrian's also a pastor. Adrian, can you unmute yourself and just share a little bit about what you've learned, how this, being here has benefited you. And like I was saying, I was so impressed with your little one. So if you can just briefly share on that as well, please.
Hi, Myra. Can you hear me?
I can. Yeah. Go ahead.
My voice is a bit croaky today, so I'll try my best.
Okay.
Yeah. I've learned a lot in what we do here at I pass 2, and one of the things that really I will just mention now that I've developed much in my life is just emailing. That's one of the things that I've learned, because big shops out there, what they do is if you go visit a shop, they buy something from the shop, within a few days they'll be emailing you, communicating with you, and before long you're buying something again from them. That's exactly how email works. So the more you communicate with your list or communicate with your audience, the more they get used to you. But we do it in a very large scale, right? We're talking to literally thousands of people, and because of that, when the time comes now for us to sell, it's easy to sell and it's easy for people to buy from you because your market is bigger. Our market is bigger than a local shop. Our market is bigger than any shop like I could have in my city here, right? Because I reach out to thousands of people. Okay, and Marion was talking there about my daughter. These things, they rub out sometimes, and because she sees me day in and day out, communicating to people out there, talking on video, and it has really rubbed out on her. And when she comes on camera, it's like she's been doing this for many, many years.
Yes.
You know, she's so good. You know, not only that, because Marian has asked me to say this, I'll say a very, very funny story that happened not long ago. My son, he's 14 years old, right? So he did something very interesting. He he had these shoes that he didn't like. Okay, he had worn them for some time, and they're sports shoes. So he says to me he wants to sell them. I said, no way you can sell these shoes. So he decided put it on eBay, and somebody offered to buy them. And you know, I'm talking about shoes that are quite smelly, quite old, and the feedback that he got from the person is very, very good shoes, which is amazing. So it's really rubbing out, and I'm happy because you see, if they can do it now, right? And imagine what they'll be when they are my age, okay? And this is what we are doing to society. This is what we are impacting upon people, and that's what you will get if you come and be part of this team. You know, you'll be able to impact society, change lives, change people, change kids. Yeah. So yeah, like what Marian says, maybe come in and ask me for that video for my daughter, and you'll be able to see what she can do. Maybe that will inspire you. Thank you so much, Marian.
Thanks, Adrian. Adrian, how old is your little girl?
She's 7 years old.
7 years old, and she's doing. It was a demo. She was actually marketing a Frozen product, you know, from the movie Frozen, and she was doing a review on it. It was absolutely fantastic. I was blown away of how confident she was. You know, and yeah, as Adrian says, that's the kind of thing. You know, we are learning something, and our kiddies are picking up on it. Like, for example, at Christmas, my son, who's 33 years old, so, you know, he's not exactly young. Well, he's young compared to me, bless him, but he was home for Christmas. And it was really interesting to me to see how much he knew naturally, you know, because this generation's actually born with all of this at their fingertips. And they are going to, you know, they're just not going to worry about getting steady jobs and all of that. Our children are cut out to be entrepreneurs simply because they can see what's going on, they can see what's happening, they can see that there is no such thing as job security anymore, and isn't it? They're growing with that in them. And for example, another team member I can think of, Sonia Harris, her 14-year-old son, he's 14. He's actually had his first book published simply because of, you know, things that she's been able to help him with through what she has learned online as well. So it's something that is so captivating to be able to get your voice out there. You know, it's so good. Like Adrian as a pastor, myself, I just love, I get very passionate about certain things and I want to share that with people. So being able to do that, you know, my son's a videographer. He works for Google and he does all these Google 360 things, right? So he markets online to get an audience to order his services. You know, he does it anywhere he feels like. He's got this little beat up Mac because he takes it with him everywhere. And, you know, he'll sit at some Starbucks somewhere and he's conducting business and making good money. So it's a completely different era that's come upon us. And it's wonderful to be able to stay, you know, up with it and know and benefit from it, rather than having to stay absorbed and tied up in a job where you are actually making somebody else's profits. Right, you're building somebody else's business. You are, you know, literally building somebody else's profits rather than your own income and your own life. And that's the big difference there. Okay, Adrian, anything else? I'm just going to pop over and see if there are any questions. But in the meanwhile, Adrian, if you want to share anything else, please do feel free. Oh, I wanted to show just the, okay, give me 2 seconds. I want to share. Okay, I'm not going to do that. I was going to take you into Facebook and actually show you, you know, the testimonials of people who are just succeeding brilliantly. You know, just a ton of excitement from both very, very experienced people, but also from people who are brand new and who are making their first amount of money online ever. Okay, but you know what? Take that $7 trial, click on that button, and the nice thing is you will be coded, you will be linked to the person who invited you here. So it doesn't matter where you're watching that, as long as you're watching it, you know, from clicking the link that that person sent you, you will land up with them, which means you will land up with this team. So you will work directly with us, and you know, everything that we know, we will share with you. And like I said, this team is more of a family than a team. We take every excuse to meet up and you know, that kind of thing, and we share all our information freely because we like to see you succeed. All right, I'm just gonna dash over and see if there are any oops, let me have a quick look at this. Right, I can't see any messages still, and I'm concerned that that might be because nobody can type their message in to that box like we had last week, Adrian, which is really sad. But can I say,
Yeah, it might be.
yeah, if you have any, I'm going to give you my direct email here. If you have any questions at all, please email me with that. And let me just pop this in for you here. Marian Herbison, gmail.com. Okay, I'll pop that in there for you. And basically, you know, if you can also tell me who invited you to this presentation, I will then pass your name on to them so that, you know, they can get in touch with you and get your questions answered, and I will be happy to get your questions answered as well. All right. Thank you for joining with us here. I told you it would be a very short, but, you know, what's an all presentation, because we truly do want you to know, number one, that you can make money here, and you will make money if you are consistent and you treat it like a proper business. And secondly, that was the other thing, you know, you do need to be aware that this is not sort of pie in the sky, pigs might fly type of income. This is a business that you need to buckle down and work at. But you know, Robbins once said, entrepreneurs will do today what others won't, so they can live their tomorrows like others can't. Okay, and that's the important thing I want to instill onto you. What is your situation now? Why are you looking for ways to make money online? If you don't do something to change the way things are now, where will you be in 3 years' time? Okay, that's a very serious question that I had to ask myself. And that was when I made the decision to come online. You know, I've done the wrong things sometimes, I've done the right things sometimes, but now I'm so confident and happy where we are because I can see things starting to happen in a really, really good way. All right. I don't work, you know, outside. I don't need to. I work from home, build my business, and that's looking after us. All right. So I look forward to working with you. Please do shoot me any email, you know, any questions you have, and I will get those answered for you promptly. Take care. God bless, and talk to you soon.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thanks, Adrian. Bye bye.